Okay. Man, I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. What we're gonna talk about is, well, one of my favorite things to watch and indulge in, you know what I mean? Look, what we're gonna talk about is anime. And we all know that anime is like one of the greatest things to ever watch, right? Anyway, anime is one of my favorite things to, watch, or just animations in general, you know what I mean? Like Invincible, which I've only seen one episode of, and a few couple shorts here and there, and maybe scenes here and there. So, anyway, the point is, I like watching anime. I mean, then again, who doesn't? At least in my opinion, who doesn't? But, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't start watching anime until, well, then again, I've been watching anime since I was a little kid. But at that time, I didn't know that's what it was called. I just called it cartoons, Like, technically, the first anime that I've ever been introduced to would have to be Speed Racer and Mazinger Z. And both of those is from, like, the 60s and 70s, right? So, we're talking about, like, the old days, you know what I mean? So, technically, I didn't start watching anime until I was, like, a little kid. My first two introduction to anime was Speed Racer and Mazinger Z, which is crazy because I have one of them in Spanish, and it's crazy because my dad doesn't like anime, or he's not interested in stuff like that, but he really does love Mazinger Z. I think it's because it's in Spanish though. Then again, he brought it for me when I was a little kid in Spanish, and to this day I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. You know what I mean? Like, as a Mexican person who doesn't know how to, like, speak Spanish, which is weird, I don't even know what the hell they're saying. But anyway, we're not gonna worry about that, bro. Point is, I kind of grew up watching anime, but you want to know what really got me into anime? And technically, I've been watching this since I was a little kid. I used to watch this, like, every Saturday morning cartoons. And I'm not sure if anybody remembers this, but I remember it. Does anybody remember, what was it? Toonzai, Vortex, CW, Saturday morning cartoons? Well, I remember the first... Okay. I grew up watching Dragon Ball Z, right? Like, I grew up watching Dragon Ball Z. Like, ever since I was a little kid, I grew up watching, DBZ. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because I grew up watching, like, the Frieza saga, the Namek saga and the Cell saga. I didn't really know much about the Sand saga or even the Buu saga, which we'll get to that in a minute. Point is, I grew up watching Dragon Ball Z as a little kid. Hell, I grew up watching a little bit of Pokemon, the old Pokemon, when I was a little kid. So, yeah, I've been around the block before with anime. I grew up watching anime. Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon. I grew up watching Yu-Gi-Oh! I grew up watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D. What else? That's pretty much it. Just basically the standard stuff for anime, right? For little kids. And when it came to Dragon Ball Z, I specifically grew up watching the Kai version of Dragon Ball Z, so yeah. Anyway, I grew up watching Dragon Ball Z, Yu-Gi-Oh!, etc., the standard anime stuff. But, I don't know. The point is, we're gonna start on a list of anime that we already did the list of anime that I grew up watching. But I can tell you the ones that I didn't watch until later on. And I'm gonna tell you the ones that I haven't watched, and some of them I'm gonna tell you why I haven't watched them, and we'll let you guess. Okay, for example, we got all the other ones that I told you that I grew up watching as a little kid. DBZ, Yu-Gi-Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D, like just the standard anime stuff, right? Basically, they would show that on Saturday morning cartoons, and I would always watch that on Saturday morning cartoons. Which is kind of sad, because we're really gonna have a generation grow up not knowing what Saturday cartoons is anymore. But I guess that's another video for another time. But okay, take this for example, right? The anime that I've never seen, that I like, most of them I've heard of and I've seen parts of, but I've never seen like in full context. Okay, Jujutsu Kaisen I've never seen. I'm not watching no fucking Attack on Titan, bro. I'm sorry, I just can't watch it. And their Attack on Titan has like the most gruesome deaths that you can ever think of. I've seen Berserk. Berserk's a pretty good one. I mean, you could argue and say, but Berserk has gruesome deaths, but I don't know. It's not on the same level as Attack on Titans, in my opinion. So I like Berserk. I think Berserk is a good anime. What else? Samurai Champloo. I've seen that. That's a good one. I like that one. That has to be like one of my favorite ones. Samurai Champloo has to be, or Champloo, or how you say it? Champloo? I don't know. The Samurai anime, Champloo anime, is actually a really good one. I like that one. That's one of my favorite ones. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. One of my favorite characters from there is Mugen, bro. That motherfucker, bro. That motherfucker is cold, bro. Like, that motherfucker is cold. Like, that's a cold motherfucker. Like, that's a cold dude. I like his character. He's my favorite. And what else? Damn. Who else? Who else? Okay, I've seen Samurai Champloo. That's a good one. That's one of my favorite ones. I've seen Berserk. I wouldn't say that's one of my favorite ones, but that's a good anime. I would not recommend for kids, though. What else? Ooh, I've seen Mob Psycho. That's a good one. I'm not gonna lie, Mob Psycho is a good one. I love Mob Psycho. Now, I'm gonna be honest, bro. The second season was hard as hell. Like, the second season was fire as hell. I love the second season of Mob Psycho. I'm not gonna lie, though, I kind of stopped watching during the third season. I don't know, it was kind of slow, but the second season was my favorite one. You know, Mob Psycho is another good anime. What else? Yeah, Mob Psycho is a good anime. I like Mob Psycho. I've seen that one. That's a good one. What else? Okay. I've never seen Chainsaw Man. Now, personally, I'm not gonna lie. When I first heard about Chainsaw Man, and this was probably like in middle school or high school. When I first heard about Chainsaw Man, I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was about some... when I first heard about it, I was thinking like, man, that's probably like some stupid anime about some dude waving a chainsaw around, fucking slicing and dicing motherfuckers. You know, slicing and dicing motherfuckers. And, just, you know, she's just chopping them up into pieces. Like, I'm over here thinking it's probably just some OP dude with freaking... you know, a chainsaw slicing and dicing and chopping them into pieces, and it's just like, it's probably some stupid anime about some overpowered dude. And then I looked into it a little bit, right? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the concept, and this is just my opinion, so please don't take this to heart. The concept of Chainsaw Man is kind of a little dumb if you really stop and think about it. You mean to tell me this man turns to a part chainsaw, part man? Like, I mean, I get the name, but it's just like, bro, what? Like, huh? And then the crazy part, and I'm not gonna lie, that little animal that he has is kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie. But, bro, I'm sorry. Personally, I think I don't know, man. I don't think I can get into Chainsaw Man. I think it sounds kind of stupid. I don't know. That's just me, though. And then One Piece. Okay, look. I don't mean to hurt One Piece fans, but I'll be honest with you. I've been recommended One Piece before, and a lot of people tell you you know, oh, give One Piece a chance. It starts off slow, but give it a chance. And I'm over here thinking like, motherfucker, I'm not gonna, no, bro, I'm not. You mean to tell me One Piece has been around as long as Family Guy has been around? Really? One Piece has been around as long as Family Guy has been around, and they're still going? Like, you really have people out here, people recommending One Piece and telling you it starts off slow, but it gets better. Why the fuck would I want to? And the worst part is, it has like over 1,000 episodes. Like, bro, I am not watching no fucking show with 1,000 episodes, bro. I'm sorry, that's just too much. I'm not gonna be watching an anime with over 1,000 episodes. That's just not me. I'm not wasting my time with One Piece that has over 1,000 episodes. And then you're telling me it starts off slow and boring, but then it gets better? No, bro, I don't have the patience, bro. I'm sorry. And now we got that out of the way. One Piece looks cool, and I've seen some parts of One Piece, and it's dope. You know, it's fire. It's a cool anime, but I'm not doing all that just to get to the best parts that I've seen of One Piece in shorts and shit. Anyway, what is another one? Ooh, I've heard of, what else? I've heard of My Hero Academia. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. The fan base is making the show look very bad, so I'm not even gonna give it a chance. And I heard that Deku is a very whiny bitch as a character, so I'm not even gonna give One Piece a chance because of that. Because I've heard that he's just a bitch-made little boy. So at least that's what they make Deku seem. Deku. So I don't watch One Piece, so I'm sorry. Excuse me if I'm saying his name wrong. But Deku, apparently his character is a whiny ass little bitch made little boy. At least that's what they say about Deku's character. So I'm not even gonna give One Piece a chance. And it turns out at the end of One Piece, he doesn't get the girl and he ends up being average. And he loses his powers. So if that's how One Piece ends, bro, I don't want to even watch One Piece. And I heard the fan base of One Piece is just weird. So we're gonna get that out of the way. So yeah, that's why I've never given One Piece a chance. What's another one? Ooh, Demon Slayer. I've never seen Demon Slayer before. Now, I've seen some parts of it, and I'm not gonna lie, bro, the characters look cold as hell. Like, the characters look cold as hell. I'm not gonna lie, I could see myself watching Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen and all that, but I've never seen them before. I've seen parts of them, I've just never seen them before. So, like, in the whole context, but I could see myself watching Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen. What else? I'm pretty sure there's some more I haven't seen, and there's some others that I have seen. But I've already listed Dragon Ball Z I've seen, Samurai Champloo I've seen, which is one of my favorite ones. Samurai Champloo is one of my favorite ones. What else? I've seen some other ones. I've only seen a few couple animes, so I haven't really seen that much. So I don't know. I can't really think of anything else to say about anime. All I know is that I like anime. I'm interested in anime. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I had to say. I don't really have much to say about anime. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say. So anyway, I love you, and if you watch this video, I love you. I think you're cool, and I don't know. I'm just gonna, bye. I'm just gonna end this video, so I don't know. All right, let me see where it at.